Yes. What's good, family?
People, we are back with another episode.
I feel a sneeze. Mercy.
Welcome, guys, to another episode
Sorry
of the
about that.
Incubators Couch. Unscripted, vulnerable conversations with entrepreneurs and small business owners just like you. We're happy to see people in the chat already.
Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, Florence? Thank you so much for coming through and hanging out. And man, you got the whole thing.
Yeah, you know,
You
I've
got
been working
the
on
whole thing. The whole thing. I like it. I like it. That'll do. So man, listen,
Yeah,
y'all.
we need to tell the people what the show's about.
We gotta tell the people what the show's about.
Yeah.
What's the show
The
about?
show. So we are business owners.
That's correct.
And, you know, we have created a space where other business owners like you can tune in, watch us rant about some stuff. We also bring in another business owner and
That's
they
right.
kind of share a story of, you know, an experience they've had and what they learned from it. Most times it's not a great experience, which is, you know, them sitting on the couch. That's their therapy session with us.
That's correct.
And in the midst of all that, we also share a resource of the week that you hopefully can gain some insight, some knowledge on that we have found beneficial for us
Yes.
as business owners.
Absolutely. I want to do something that we have not done before.
And
I want to show you the couch. Come on, move to the side a little bit.
We have actually kind
No,
of showed the
we
people the
haven't.
couch. Yes, we
Look,
have.
Look, this is the couch.
You see, it's the colors, y'all.
It's the color
It's
of composition.
the composition.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
on, y'all. The
So
couch.
I wanted to show the couch, you know?
We have mentioned the couch, but I don't
No,
think we've
we have,
actually
but we haven't
displayed
Yeah.
the couch because we
Couch.
have a couch, y'all. We are very excited about this couch.
Went and purchased a whole couch
Yes, just
for
for
the show and set it up inside the studio here at home and got this thing situated. Real quick, just a little roll call as we get into it tonight, man. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know
Yes, let
what
us
your
know.
business name is. And if you have a YouTube channel for that business name, make sure to put that handle in the chat
that's a good
as
idea.
well.
Put it in the chat.
Yeah.
You never know. And say what kind of business it
Yes.
is because you never know.
Roll call.
Someone might need that business.
We need to do a roll call. We're gonna be incorporating that into our segments.
Yeah.
We're gonna start with a welcome and roll call. Roll call. I see Ibrahim, my guy from Curacao, is here.
Oh,
Hello guys, nice couch. He says nice couch.
Thank you.
Ibrahim,
Thank you very
how do you say good evening in Papiamento? Let me know in the chat, brother. I want to know. I want to see more comments in the chat. That's what I want to see
Let
more
us
of.
know where you're watching from. I know we got some Huntsville people. We got Crystal. I know you're lurking in the shadows.
Come
Hi,
on.
Crystal. You always support us, and we really appreciate that.
I love that.
Crystal is a home improvement contractor here in Huntsville.
Hey, Crystal.
Yeah, man.
What up? She's on Facebook?
Yeah, she's on Facebook.
Oh,
She's
okay.
watching.
You see, Facebook tells on you.
I know Facebook. is
YouTube, you can
sneaky.
lurk, silently, but Facebook is like, oh, so-and-so is watching.
Yep.
Seesaw Studios is in the chat. Seesaw, tell the people what you do and where you're located. Florence, tell the people what you do and where you're located. Ibrahim, tell the people what you do, where you're located.
Yes.
This space is created with businesses in mind. We don't only want it to be where we get a chance to chat with one another and to hear lessons learned, but we also want it to be kind of a mini networking session as well.
True.
So we are a business as well, and you can see some of our handles and things on the screen.
Yeah.
And
And what do we do, babe?
We are a boutique.
Boutique.
A
Oh my gosh.
boutique
We are an agency.
web design and video production firm, specializing and focusing on specifically small businesses. On the web design side, we believe that your website should operate as an additional member of your team,
Yes.
especially for small businesses. Some of you are solopreneurs, some of you have a small team. Your website should be able to work as a member of that team to bring you leads, to serve as a kind of a headquarters on the World Wide Web. Because if you don't have a website, is it even real?
Is it real?
Right? We coined that phrase before this other company
know,
did.
right?
I don't know how they
We
stole
should've,
that from us.
copyrighted that joint.
Yeah. And then on the video side, we believe that video marketing is best done when people know, like, and trust you. One of the ways, and generally it takes like 6 to 12 months, 6 months to a year to get somebody into that phase where they're like, yeah. I want to do business with you. But from my perspective, I found a way to drastically accelerate that timeline to where somebody is willing to book the business with you after 3 or 4 sessions, 3 or 4 times seeing you live, doing your thing, they're ready to go.
Yep.
Because your live stream is your digital storefront.
And
there's
it works.
no greater way to go from busy and broke to peaceful and paid than for your ideal customer to see you do your thing live. And that's what we do.
I love that line.
I love that line.
I love it too.
All right, here we go. All right. I like it. I want some more of it.
So we got Seesaw Studios.
Actually, I wanted to read Ibrahim's quote here. So
go ahead.
Bonochi tour hende. Bonochi tour hende. I'm pretty much. I'm certain I'm butchering that, but I'm so glad that you shared with us how we say good evening in Papiamento. All right, cool. Go ahead.
Seesaw Studios. He's in the chat on YouTube, and he says he's a photographer and graphic designer in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Check. So folks, hit him up, y'all. Photographer, if you're in the area.
Right.
Graphic design is pretty much any and everywhere.
That's
you can
correct.
reach out to him.
That's correct. Tag him. Click on his handle there. Check out his channel. Get his contact deets. We can set you up. Equip Institute. This is my sis from another mister. This is Florence Donald, and she says productivity consultant helping clients with systems friction points.
Okay.
Channel is Equip Institute. I love it. I love it. And I got a chance to be a guest on her show a couple of Fridays ago, and we had a blast. So look, this is what it's about. See, this is the check-in.
Yeah,
right? This is the roll call.
That.
I like the roll call.
We putting that in the list of stuff.
We're putting that in, and we're gonna be looking to add more things to get the audience engaged and involved.
Yeah.
And look, we might even give y'all some points or even a T-shirt if you guys are engaging with one another in the chat. See, we want to hold space.
Yes.
We want to really, create,
ramp it up.
Ramp it up. Create an environment where folks are really doing things with one another. Okay, with that said, we got to get some things off our chest.
Yes.
And let's get into the host rant. Now I got to put my leg down. Let me turn off the music. Let me take off the glasses. And
getting real serious right now.
Y'all. Okay. At the end, the last line of last week's therapy session with the Bria Queen, she shared something that just blew our minds.
Gold.
She said, people are a constant variable. Just by a show of hands, just put a hand raise in the chat.
Just think about it.
People
are a constant variable. Oh my goodness.
Put a hand raise emoji in the chat if you know what that means. Now, we've seen some of your comments and different little DMs and messages and stuff from just conversation around the web.
Yep.
Folks are like, I didn't quite understand what that meant. You probably haven't had one of those clients yet.
That's probably what.
Because if you've had one of those clients,
you would understand.
You would know.
Goodness. Come on, you would know.
The meme goes, oh my God, y'all just need to know. People be peopling.
A project would go so smoothly if people weren't like such a variable, man. Oh my goodness, like you never know what you're gonna get with a project. You never know. It's never the same.
Oh my word! Your boy Forrest Gump said, "Life's like a box of chocolates." I don't know if it was life or if it was people. You never know what you're gonna get. Listen, I sat in a planning meeting at work, and the entire planning meeting was contingency around what people will probably not do. Because people are a constant variable. And here's the thing.
You have to accommodate for all those different variables, all those different things around the people.
This is the thing about the quote. And this is the thing. This is what somebody messaged me. I was going back and forth in DMs this week. I don't even know if they're a constant variable. Like,
are they constant?
Are they constant? Because in algebra you can solve for x. You can.
Are they?
They're not constant.
Dang.
They not.
Wow.
Like, so when we do the t-shirt, you got to put an X through the constant.
That's true.
People are a constant X variable. No, they're not constant.
They're not.
They show up today, they're X. They show up tomorrow, they're Y. They show up another day, they're H. They show up another day, they're a JC. And you're like, bruh, how are you both? How are you both? No.
Oh, that's good.
No,
That's good.
no, they're not a constant variable. That's
not.
actually the genius of the statement is that if they were constant, you could solve for them.
You could solve for that, but
oh, I did some homework with the kids the other night. I was like, you can
good.
solve for X here. You can't solve for them. Oh God.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Oh my gosh, no, man. Kirk, I see you, SBD podcast. That's my guy, man. He always comes through. Gary Link is in the chat.
Hey.
Look. Quip Institute said it as well. Projects would be great except for the people.
Oh my goodness.
We had a concert at the church Thursday night, this past Thursday night. Hezekiah Walker, Donnie McClurkin, Marvin Sapp. Whew.
It was so
the
good.
Shekinah.
So good.
But people are a constant variable. Folk didn't want to buy no tickets. We almost had to cancel the joint. Now, if you saw the concert, you saw that the place was packed.
Yeah.
But
People,
why y'all don't want to buy the tickets? People showing up. People buying
tickets at the door.
People were buying VIP tickets at the door.
The door.
They moved the rope for VIP three times.
They did.
They made it shorter, then they had to make it bigger. Why? Because people are a constant, inconsistent variable. Inconsistent variable.
That works.
Maybe you put unconstant, like in the red letters, like the end is hanging off, like.
Ooh, that's good,
like it's broken construction.
We're gonna do that. I like that.
Like that joint is dilapidated and not constant. The constant should be faded and it's like graffiti is over it and whatnot.
That's
it's like,
good.
did that used to say constant?
We're gonna make that shirt.
I'm telling you, I see the whole thing right now.
That's good.
They showed up last minute. They were dressed to the T.
Yes,
like
they
the
were.
fur,
Yes, they were.
the gator skins, you know it. They had the good weave in. Oh my God. And we had a grand old time, but people are a constant variable. I'm not gonna say no more.
And we're gonna end on that. I think that's a good way to just wrap it up.
Seesaw says, "Oh, I like that. The variable can change. Yes, it can. Yes, it can." Okay, we're gonna share with y'all our resource of the week.
All right, y'all. We are back with our resource of the week. And this week, our resource is Unsplash. Now, I know for some businesses, they may not need this necessarily, but most, yes. If you're creating like a banner, a postcard, your website, whatever it is.
If you could see my foot, you would see that I'm pumping brakes right now. I'm pumping brakes because we got to go backward. Let's start over.
Go ahead.
Let me say this to you. Let me say this to you. Okay? Let me say this to you. This is not supposed to be the host rant, but I feel like ranting. Family, it is illegal to Google an image and use it on your website and in your shows and in your content as if it was your own.
I knew you was going to say that.
It's illegal, okay?
The rant session is over, man.
It's illegal, okay? Unsplash. Bookmark it. It's free.
Copyright free. Free. I gotta
stop putting them in your presentations. Stop putting them in your sermons. Stop putting them in your live streams.
A little story.
Oh my God.
I got an email from a client, a previous client. It was a church actually. They got a letter in the mail that they were being charged a fee because of the image that they put in a newsletter that was put on the site. And they were like, oh my goodness. Like, come on, y'all. You cannot be grabbing those photos from Google. Go to resources like Unsplash. I know that there are other sources out there, but Unsplash I think is one of the most popular ones, and they have a large
really
resource.
Good. And if you have a Canva account, they do have free images in Canva in the free account. But if you pay for a Canva account, can I just say pay for the Canva?
Just pay
Can I
for
just
it,
tell you
y'all.
to pay for
That joint is
pay
gold.
for a Canva account? Okay,
Gold.
so when you pay for the Canva account, you'll get Pro, and that gives you an entire other set of not only images
yes,
but
video.
videos as well. We have Envato Elements, which gives us stock images, stock video,
graphics, all sorts of stuff.
But please,
if you cannot afford that right now,
oh my,
Unsplash.com,
Unsplash
free
will
resource.
save your life.
Yeah.
Photos
Definitely.
for everyone. I don't even know what these other
Just
ones
keep
are.
going.
Unsplash is internet source for
No,
freely
but-
usable images.
Yeah, like they're constantly putting up new photos because they have all these photographers that's just uploading their stuff on there that
Yes.
people can use.
Yes.
So
and if you
it's-
want to give them credit,
You can.
The information is there on the image right as you're downloading it. But what you can't do, because CC Saw Studio says, sorry, as a photographer, I felt that one. My man said, I felt it here. I felt it in my shando. But you need to stop using the free. Fam, people, you're being charged. You're being charged. Somebody said to me this week, oh, I hope he's not watching.
Oh boy.
Because there's no way he won't know I'm talking about him. Was supposed to be doing a presentation, Black History presentation, and this thing is going to be live streamed, and was like, where can I get pictures? And I sent him to Unsplash, and he was like, bet, thank you so much. I didn't even know that this existed. I usually just Google for my images. I'm like, bro, those are somebody else's images.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. People, listen, there's a signature on this stuff now.
Yep.
You just can't do that. You just can't do that. So
you don't want to get sued? Don't do that.
don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. So Unsplash will get you across the line, and we're not even going to say no more on it.
we're
I'm going to
good.
leave it right there. Go ahead, get over to Unsplash if you're unwilling to get the Canva account.
or the Envato Elements, or whatever it is, or iStockPhoto.com.
Oh
whatever.
Lord, iStock is actually a really
Yeah.
good one. I don't know how we didn't mention
Yeah.
that, but yeah, that's our two things for today. We don't have an incubator spotlight, but we do have a therapy session, and we're going to dive into that right now. We are back with another therapy session here on the Incubators Couch, and we're excited to be here with you. Today, we have the other half of the tailor-made duo, Malcolm Taylor. What's going on, sir?
Yes. Hey, how you guys doing?
We're good, and we're happy to have you on the
Yeah.
couch.
I'm happy to be here. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
on the couch.
Yeah.
On the couch, right?
We're gonna keep saying that for the next couple episodes.
Yeah,
on the
y'all-
couch.
y'all were playing
We're
us.
on the couch.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I was second best. I think I'm the second person on the couch.
Yeah, this is true.
I think
You
so.
are,
Yeah,
you
okay.
are. Even though the episode might not be right after the other.
Okay.
That's
maybe.
true.
But
That
you
is
know,
true.
you
But
are
you are
the
the
second
second person.
person.
That
Okay,
is correct.
cool.
You are the
cool.
second
I'll
person on the
accept
couch.
that. I'll accept that.
But man, we're excited to have you here with us today. This is the Incubators Couch again. Is unscripted, vulnerable conversations with businesses and entrepreneurs just like you. And we're excited to be able to hold space here where business owners can share some of their experiences.
Yeah.
So share with us some in the chat as well while we kind of hear more of your introduction. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your business or businesses,
Because
right?
if you've already seen the previous episode,
Which you do
with
need to go back
Nicole,
and hear if you didn't hear that one.
They have done a lot of different things,
Yeah.
and we're excited to hear a little bit of the things that you guys have done and what you're
Yeah.
doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, I've done so many things, and I kind of laugh to myself when I begin to start talking about it in my head. And I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. You know, from middle school, high school on, there was a drive in me, and we used to do these. You know, when you graduate from high school, you do your senior book.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in my vision side of
I
my
don't even know
book,
if they do that anymore.
yeah, I know. We put pictures and all that kind of great. Maybe you
That's
don't do that
really
anymore.
cool.
Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know,
But in my vision side of the book, I said I want to own a business, right? So one thing that I did while in high school, I got my license to cut hair and do hair.
Oh,
In high school.
In high school, yeah.
That's
I actually had to
good.
sign
That's
a waiver that I wouldn't quit high school. The trade school that I went to,
Really?
they
Oh,
said
wow.
we never had anybody in the 10th grade come to us.
wow.
We usually have people that come that's a GED candidate
Wow.
or something. But they were like, we don't know how to handle this. So we got to go back and
It's
look.
crazy.
Make sure you don't quit
What-
school.
what's the-
I love
what
that
trade
they did
school was
that.
this?
This was in Florida.
Get outta here.
Yeah, it
That's
was
really
called
cool.
career. Technical Career
Something, yeah.
Institute.
Okay, that's
Yeah, it was
awesome.
on Orange Blossom Drive in
Oh, I know exactly where that
Orlando,
is.
in
Yeah.
Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, yeah,
They had
yeah.
2 places, one on Orange Blossom Drive and another one on Colonial Drive.
I know Colonial too.
Yes. So
Good night.
I signed up in the 10th grade. I finished by the 11th grade.
Yeah.
Went off to Pine Forge. I was a licensed
That is
stylist
so cool.
in the 11th grade.
I love
Wow,
that.
that is so
That
awesome.
is
And that
so
was advice
cool.
from my dad, because I used to cut hair at the house, and he said, "Son, you know, when you go off to college, you can make a little money. So why don't you get your
That's
license?"
true.
And I was like, "Cool, I'll do it. I want to be a business owner anyway."
And you went to Pine Forge, which y'all might not know. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So all those kids need to get their hair cut.
Yes,
oh yeah,
they do.
and
Yeah.
it's
Like
not in-
fishing with dynamite.
It sustained me. It sustained me. It was you know, and I know we're talking about, you know, some of the things that I've done, but it sustained me because at Pine Forge you had to have a job.
You do.
So I told them I can't work and cut hair because
Yeah.
I do a lot.
True.
So the school was like, you know, some of the people that didn't understand barbering, they're like, you can still work. So the good thing about it, I was cutting the hair of the administrator.
Yes, sir.
They
Come
said, "Oh, no,
on.
we're signing off on that. This guy's too good. He can't."
Oh my goodness. My goodness.
So my job was, they used to joke me. They said Malcolm is the campus barber. You know?
Come
That's
on.
cool.
So then, fast forward, I get to Huntsville. I'm at Oakwood, freshman, going into my sophomore year, and I'm like, it's time to open a business.
Business, yeah.
Yeah. So what I did was, this guy, older white gentleman, he was. I went to his shop to get a Alabama license because I had a Florida license.
Okay.
So
okay.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna transfer it over. He's like, oh, he said, well, what are you doing? I said, well, I work in a shop and I go to school. I'm in college. I said, but I do want to open a shop. He said, well, I'm trying to sell one.
What?
I was like, oh, this is probably a shop that's not us. He said, well, it's on Jordan Lane. I said, oh, I like that.
Jordan Lane.
That's where I want to be.
That's
For those
us.
that don't know Huntsville.
Yeah. So he said, well, go
Jordan
by
Lane
and look
is
at
us.
it. Go by and look at it and let me know what you want to do. So I went by, I looked at it. Guys, I'm 19, right? I go by and look at it and I'm like, hey, it's a shop and there's 2 older black women that work in it, right?
What?
I'm like, why didn't they get it? The entrepreneur mindset, right?
Yeah, that's real talk.
I'm
I'm trying my best
Yeah.
right now because
Yeah.
some people would not see the opportunity.
That's true.
And they were old enough to be my mother, almost like grandmother.
Wow.
But then you have the men's side, and they would take care of the women's
women's
side.
side,
But you
yeah.
do both. But I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
but then I just did one. I was just barbering, but I had license to do both.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
But the thing about it is, when I saw it, I went back to him. I want to get it, and just the Lord worked that out. That's a long story in and of itself.
Yeah.
At that age, to
Wow.
jump 2
Yes.
feet into the pond, not knowing what to do, you know, in terms of business, because
Baptism by fire.
my father is a pastor. You know, he was like, "Son, I apologize. I just didn't
I can't
have."
help you with that.
He said, "I didn't have that acumen, you know, but I apologize, and I didn't have those people around me that I could go to and be like, hey, can you pour into me some things?"
Wow.
Because looking back, I would have done some things different, but you know, and I think we're talking about experiences.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are.
Here's
We
the
are.
crazy thing, you know, when I got my salon, it was rental. You know, I was renting a suite.
Yeah.
And so there was an older white gentleman who was an attorney. He was a real estate attorney. And he owned the plaza. Not only did he own the plaza, he owned like a lot of the buildings on Jordan Lane. So when he met me, for some reason he liked me. Right?
Oh.
And I'm glad he did. Because I wrote a check for my deposit. And that check bounced.
Oh.
19 guys, you know,
19.
hey,
Yeah, 19.
you know, you right on
So,
the whim.
yeah.
You're like, hey, I want this business, right? And he called me. He said, Malcolm, you know, your check didn't go through. I said, oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
I said, I don't want our business relationship to start like this. I said, but I'll correct it. And do you know that man, from then on, that was the first time and never again. Right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, I was learning as I was going. But I think there's a freshness in us that
Yeah.
we're willing to say, you know what?
I'm gonna try. Yeah.
I'm gonna try because things just didn't line up. And I'll tell you why that check didn't clear. It's because I found out at the utility company that my deposit was going to be double, like
What
they.
you planned for?
okay.
Yes,
Okay.
so that was the problem. I needed the lights on.
Yeah. In order to make money.
Yeah, so that was the catch-22.
Gotcha.
It was
Yeah.
nothing sleight of
No,
hand.
no.
It was just.
You know what I love about this portion. I know we're gonna get into it, but the gentleman decided to give you a chance,
Yeah.
and this is what we're talking about. This is it right here. I mean, in terms of being an incubator, in terms of being a business owner, an entrepreneur, sometimes you have to learn on the job.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're gonna make some mistakes, and having people in your sphere who can give you that grace.
Yeah.
And let me be clear, sometimes you as the business owner might actually need to be the one
Yes, to give the
apply
grace.
the grace,
Yeah.
right? because I'm thinking of a scenario right now where I probably need to be applying some grace. But I'm gonna lie.
Mercy and grace. Huh?
No. The Lord will have to speak on this one because
chopping block.
This guy. Anyway, but I love what you shared. We have this full breadth of context in terms of your background and some of the things that have happened. Probably gonna have to have you back. Just gonna share some more of that story.
Yeah, probably need to fast forward too because I haven't even gotten to the
now we're settled in. We know you a little bit. I feel like the audience, put a 2 in the chat if you feel comfortable with Brother Malcolm here. But we know you now. So now tell us a little bit about this particular situation, this experience that you want to share with us.
Okay.
The story that we hope to learn something from.
Yeah, and it's stories, and that's that's the thing, guys. It's funny when you've been through a lot. When you're asked about a particular story, they all tend to collide.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, because you're talking about starting on the entrepreneurial side at 19, but actually, if I back up to high school, I own my own little barbershop in the dorm room. As
that's
a
crazy.
16, 15.
I know that.
Wow.
Yeah. And which yielded, good revenue.
Yeah.
Even then, I
Yeah.
wasn't rich, but it yielded good revenue. But, in terms of stories, I think for me, the biggest story for me as I learned in business was not to be afraid to fail, right? And I think for us, especially for African Americans, minorities, the stigma of losing a business and not being able to stay in business is just so strong and heavy on us.
Yeah.
Is.
And
That's true.
I think for me along the way, one of the biggest stories that stands out to me is an opportunity that I always wanted, in terms of we call it scaling.
Yeah.
I want to scale and just blow up. And I had an opportunity to scale. And I think this is more of a vendor to vendor relationship, not so it's a customer.
Yeah, it's a customer.
So it's like my wife, I think she was on your an episode you guys had previously. She talked about a daycare we had. And I told you guys I had a hair salon and then a car business, which I didn't get a chance to mention.
It is some you did some of everything. Come on.
Yeah, and a counseling business. Therapeutic, and in the collegiate system as well. But back to the experience, I think for me, biting off more than I could chew at one time as a young entrepreneur, and then the ability to make a strong move. And when I say a strong move, there was a deal that was on the table for me, my wife, in terms of business, where I could really we were in a plaza. And I wanted to own it.
The whole thing.
I don't want to just...
I would too.
Because this is what I learned when I was in my barbershop hair salon. If you guys remember when I first started, I was leasing that suite. And I actually sold the barbershop hair salon. But when I was trying to sell it at a better price, the deterrent was you buy my salon, but you have to pay a lease payment.
You do.
And I realized, I'm like, man, if I owned the salon and the building that housed it, that would have been a better package to sell. Right? So when we got into our daycare, the building, I wanted to buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like a 20,000+ square foot building that I wanted to buy. Wow. Legit commercial and everything. And the opportunity was in front of me, right? And the guys that I was dealing with, of course, they were not of our persuasion, and they had a lot of stuff, a lot of possessions, wealthy, and found a banker, and this banker actually got me what they call commitment letters.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
For you guys who are learning, commitment letters are what banks give that say, we'll actually give this person some money.
Right? Yeah. We're learning today. We're learning today. I love it.
So now I've graduated from the 6-figure, hurrah, and this is going into the 7-figure kaboom.
Kaboom. Yeah.
Right?
So we want some kaboom.
Yeah. The 6-figure is hurrah. And even now in 2024, 6-figure is wonderful. But then the 7-figure thing is like a kaboom. And then when you go 7, 8, 9, 10, you're like, hey, nobody can talk to you.
Come on.
And I haven't gotten there. But so I'm looking at that glass ceiling, and the idea of failure at that point was just like pressure. Now I'm in my late 20s, early 30s, and we have this awesome opportunity to do this deal. And guys, when you put God into the scenario,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes it just doesn't vibe with
Okay.
the deal. So we're in 2008,
Okay.
right? And I've got this huge deal that's going on. And I mean, I can't tell people around me because it's like,
Yeah, it's you can't tell everybody.
That's
these
true.
Kind of,
Yeah.
if they're not in that
Some
space,
stuff
they're
you
not
gotta
gonna be able
keep to
to.
yourself.
They won't even be able to. It's not even the concept around it. They can't even grasp. So, and then it's true too that you just don't share your
Can't.
dreams
There's
with,
stuff you
with
don't
everybody.
share.
Yeah,
You
and
just
of course,
yourself.
shared it with my parents and my mother. She's funny. Those I just can't put that together, son. I mean, but I'm like, okay, cool. But we're gonna work this deal out.
Yeah.
Right? So we had other things in the fire, and I'm talking about the idea of failure, right? So to me, I'm like, this is the pinnacle of a business deal, and I'm like, it's there. I've got my commitment letters, and then something happens with not the Better Business Bureau, but the SBA, the Small Business
Business
Administration.
Administration. Okay.
We had 49% of the building. And the Small Business Association, their mandate was 51%. For them to kick in, because we needed a second position.
Yeah,
For some of you guys, when it comes to
Yeah.
lending, you got your first position. Sometimes when this funding is not good, you
Yeah.
need a second
Second
position.
position.
And then there's even some people who take a third,
Yeah.
which is very risky, but hey, that means they
It's a
get their
couple
money
hands.
last
A
out
lot
of the
hands,
first two
yeah.
people. But anyway, I had my first position. A bank out of California was like, "Hey, we'll do majority of this deal." Second position, the government.
SBA. Yeah.
For sure, I'm cool. But then they fell through. And the guy that I'm dealing with, he was like, "Well, we got another place. It's called, it's in Alabama. It's in the South, and they're a little more regulated, right?" So then they had a thumb on me. I mean, they were asking for a lot of things, and I don't want to fail, guys. And here's the crazy thing about it. So everything is good. I'm fast forward a little bit because the story is long. So we got a first position. Now we have a second position that's a little more regulated.
Yeah.
And then the guys who actually own the whole building that I'm buying the building from wanted to take third. And they,
okay.
yeah, but they had a small hand in it. And these guys are rich, right? But they're not like us,
Yeah.
right?
I get you.
And they're not treating me like them. But they're
Okay.
like, hey, this
Got
young
you.
guy, let's see if this young guy can do it. But he's doing it so far, but let's see if he can do it. But now I'm at risk because
it's a lot of exposure.
the second and third position has more regulation and more of we're going to get you if it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
The bank and the government is more so if it doesn't work out, we'll just deal with the property and not you.
And not you.
So now I've got more at risk,
Yeah.
but I don't want to fail,
Yeah.
right? And I want to say that I'm able to. I
Make
did a
this thing
7-figure deal,
Yeah.
you know. So my wife and I were praying about it, and boom, boom, boom. So the night that I'm supposed to say we'll do it.
Yeah.
Now this is the vendor experience. The banker calls me because we've developed this relationship, and he says, Malcolm, we're gonna, tomorrow, we're gonna put the money aside, and we're talking about the money aside is multiple 6 figures to make the 7-figure deal work.
Yeah.
He said, so tomorrow is the day. He said, I just wanted to make sure you're on. The guy's name is Kevin. I won't tell you his last name. And he wasn't like us either. He was, very good banker though. This dude was awesome.
All right.
I said, hey Kevin, man, my wife and I, we've been praying about it, and we just can't go with this deal.
Yeah.
And it was silence on the phone, guys. You know how you have a cricket moment for 20 to 30? No, it was a cricket moment for like 5 minutes. He just didn't say anything. And I'm just sitting there. I said, Kevin, you okay? He's still quiet. He said, Malcolm, do you realize what you're doing? He said, the guys that you're dealing with, they're rich because they're doing what you're about to do. And he said, if you don't do this, you won't be rich. But then, when you got the spiritual acumen in you, then the text says, what does it profit a man? If he gains the whole world, loses his soul. And I said, well, Kevin, we prayed about it. Can't go through with this deal. So this is the vendor experience.
Right.
And it's still a customer.
Right.
I'm his customer, he's my customer.
Yeah.
And we're clashing at this point. And he's like, if you don't go through with this, then you failed.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I guess I have to be a failure.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is 2008, guys.
Yeah.
Bush is president,
Yeah.
right? So
I picked up on the 2008
he hangs
earlier.
up with me.
Right.
And we're done. This dude, he stops talking to me and everything. And when I tell you, we were approved, everything was there. All we had to do was just come and close on this building. but we were the anchor. We were the anchor business in that building, right? And there was a dentist. She was a black lady, and she actually had a pharmacy in the front. We had Edward Jones, a couple of things. And what happened was when we didn't go through with the deal, I'm kicking myself, right? Several months later, Bush is leaving office, right? And we see Barack Obama coming in, but the economy tanks.
Yeah, 2008 was.
Yeah, it was so bad that the other anchor tenant, the dentist, she had to shut down for a minute or two, right?
Oh, wow.
And so, you know, and our payroll was a little bit enormous, and we had to eventually shut down too. And I saw where God led me from.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because had the government and that other bank been first and second position, I would have been with a friendly foe.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But with the second position being more regulated, the third position being these guys that didn't care about me, I was really going to be with some sharks.
Yeah. You gotta look. Yeah. You gotta look at those pieces.
So in that, guys, and the story keeps going that, you know, by 2009, you know, I'm at the point where I need to file bankruptcy, right? You know, I'm going from 7 figures to like, now we got to tank this thing out. But I learned along the way that in failure, there's success. You know, most people don't know that Milton Hershey filed for bankruptcy 11 times.
Ooh, Hershey.
Oh.
Milton Hershey.
Yes.
And this dude is dead and gone, and we know Hershey.
We sure do.
Because we want
Wow.
Hershey's kiss.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, was he afraid to fail? Obviously not.
See, there's so many pieces here to really dig into. One being that business begets business. Business creates more businesses. We had somebody on who told us about a mentor of theirs who they have a business, and every ancillary thing that their business had to pay for, they started
another business for that.
So he
Yeah.
had to hire a cleaning company, and he was like, forget this.
Man.
He created a cleaning company. He had to hire a landscaping company. He was like, nah. He created a landscaping company. And so what we've said that here before, business creates more business.
And that's what we call organic growth.
That's
Yeah,
organic
that's
growth.
true.
But you do have to have a certain mindset, a certain perspective, a certain drive, hunger, and determination, vision even, to be able to capitalize on those deals. But the other piece I want to share is I literally just had somebody on a different podcast recently that had shared their definition of fail, first attempt in learning. First attempt in learning. I think there's something to be said for leaning into that failure, because as you said, there is success in there. You can do the postmortem and figure out some of the things that went wrong or some of the things that went right. Just like you said, Hershey, 11? You said 11?
11 times.
There is something to be, like, there are people that I got a chance to chat with recently that they want to know what you failed at first before they want to. Don't tell me what you succeeded at. What did you fail at? And tell me what you learned from it. I sat in an interview looking at the guy like, you want to know what I failed at? I don't want to tell you.
Exactly. Because you might not hire me.
You're not going to hire me. And so those are the kinds of things that we want to encourage in this space as incubators, not just those great moments, those high
Not just
moments,
the successes, but definitely the failures. And what did you learn from it?
What did you learn from it? How did it go? You know, and I think I love the story that you shared. It's totally different than what we've ever experienced here before.
On a different level.
Completely different level, but it's perspective that I think our audience will absolutely can sink their teeth in and really gain some value from it as well. Man, I can't thank you enough.
Yeah, don't be afraid to fail.
No.
Yeah. Lean in.
Yeah, because what's the acronym FAIL?
First attempt in learning.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's
When he said it, I
That's
was like,
really
now I'm
good.
going to use that.
Yeah.
I committed it to
you
memory. I
better.
said, no, that's done. First attempt in learning, man. And
Trademark that thing.
making sure, I can't, but making sure that you do look at it from the perspective of, I'm learning. Those are, you have perspective and insight now on the type of deal that others can only wish for, dream for, look towards. And that's the thing. Whenever you have experience, it is just that, it's experience.
Yeah.
And nobody cares about whether it's bad or good or successful experience, unsuccessful experience. It's experience that no one else has. I'll say this and I'll shut up, but every video on my YouTube channel is something that I failed at.
Wow. That's deep.
Every one.
That's deep.
so all of those failures, some of them have 40,000 views. You know, because I'm trying to ensure that somebody else doesn't hit that same failure.
Don't make the same mistake.
So there's something to be said for failure. I love this. I could go for a while now.
It is.
But those are some of the pieces I hope that our audience is really capturing as we think about your business. You think about as you go into your day tomorrow, and what are some of the things that aren't quite going right? How can you shift your perspective towards that thing to ensure that I'm not only, you know, as they say, fail fast, but learn from it and move on and try again. That's absolutely awesome, man.
Yes, great.
I feel like you were going to say something. I cut you off.
Oh, no. I mean, you know, it's just, I mean, all of this is pregnant with thought, but I mean, when it comes to the idea, when we talk about failure, you know, because we kind of went down this lane, you actually, I mean, it thickens your skin. You know, we talk about calluses and keloid.
Oh, that's good.
But you know, your skin gets thick, and you actually see yourself changing even in business because, you know, even with the economy tanking, you know, I still had my businesses going, but they were failing, right? But then it caused me to get more teeth and grind harder because I had a check, you know, from an auction. Because remember, I told you I had a car business.
Oh, yes.
And so the check that I had was a bank check, right? And it wasn't a huge check, but it was large enough. And I went to the bank that it was written off of. And now for those of us who know checks, I mean, we really don't write too many checks anymore.
Right?
But if you get a bank check and you go to the bank that the check is written off of, it's automatically guaranteed because you're at that bank.
You're at that bank. They got to cash it.
Yeah. And so this bank, I'm at this bank with their own check, and the guy was the teller was like, "Oh, we can't cash this check." But now my skin has gotten a whole lot thicker because I'm failing. I'm like, "No, you're cashing it today." And the teller was like, "No, we're not going to cash this check because, you know, we have to put a hold on it." I said, "On the bottom of this check, does it not have your bank's name?" She said, "Yes, sir, it does." I said, "So that means you're going to cash it today." So she wouldn't do it. I said, "Well, you need to get your manager."
Pretty much.
So she went and got the bank manager. And so the bank manager, he comes around the podium. He tells me, "Oh, sir, we can't cash it." And I looked at him in his eyes. And I said, "Oh, you're going to cash it today, and I know you will because of what the check says." And he looked at me, and he said, I could tell in his eyes, he said, "This guy, he knows
his stuff.
He knows what he's talking about." He said, "Well, sir, can you come to my office?"
I'm certain of it.
I said, I will.
Yeah.
So I went to his office, right? And so he sits down. And
we got a twofer.
And now he's turning different colors.
Yeah.
And he says, "Well, we can't cash this check." I said, "No, you can and you will.
You got to.
And you have to."
That's the whole thing of a bank.
Oh,
my
because
word.
it's your check. He said, "Well, can I be totally honest with you?" I said, "You sure can." He said, "The problem is," and this is, we're ever learning. He said, "The problem is our large depositors have the ability to move their money at night. Now, we don't know that." He said, "These large depositors, actually the check you have is by one of these large depositors." Now, remember Bush leaving office, the economy is tanking. He said, now these guys are moving their money around. So even the checks that they're writing off of our bank that are good always, we don't even know if they're good tonight or by tomorrow. You know what I said to him? "I feel sorry for you." But you're going to cash this check.
You don't give me my money.
Because I'm not going to take the risk that you already have taken. You got insurance for that. I don't.
That's right.
So cash my check. And so he says to me, "Oh, I sure hope this doesn't come back to hurt me." I said, "Hey, that's the risk you took by becoming the manager.
Pretty much.
But by law, you're going to cash this check, right?" And they cashed that check.
These are things that we, you know, I think there's a whole other segment of shows that we need to start looking into in terms of Incubators Couch and just opening up a little bit. Venture capitalists, investments, you know, first round, second round, that goes. There's so much that you've shared today that I was like,
but that's what I was growing into because of the failures.
Exactly.
My skin was getting thicker and thicker, and I'm like, I'm a nice guy, I am. But when I have to pull it out, I'll go there.
Yeah, because and in business, you've got to have that shark. You got to have that dog in there, or else people will take advantage of you. They'll run you over. They will not give you what you deserve. No, in business, even when you deal from one business to another, or you have a service provider coming in, you've got to make sure you're getting what you're paying for.
Yes.
Especially as you are looking to provide a service to someone else, and people will hold your feet to the fire.
They will.
Doc, let me say this. We
good
we got to land at some
we might have to edit some of this out.
But I will say, man, this has been phenomenal, man. Take a few more seconds just to share what are some of the things where can people find, follow? What do you what's your main thing now? You got like 20 million businesses. What's your main thing now, and where can they find and follow you?
Yeah, main thing now, actually, I'm a 1099 kind of man. I try to sell myself, right? How much is my time worth? Now that I do it like that.
I
love it.
But, I have to step up and become more, I guess, social media minded, So you can find me at TaylorMade. I actually counsel.
Okay, good.
And that is a Healthy Life Counseling, HLC. Don't have that website just yet because it's one of those things, when you do so much and you start trying to land a so much plane, you're like, do I really want to go all in on that? But I still do. But you can still find me on TaylorMade, inbox me, and just take it from there.
Wealth of knowledge, y'all.
Wealth of knowledge. You can see
inbox the man.
You can see his handle on the screen right there. And fam, listen, this has been a great one. We're gonna wrap it right there. I can't thank you enough. We're gonna have you back though.
For real.
Okay.
This has been an absolutely phenomenal conversation.
Yes.
With Malcolm Taylor. Man, that was good.
Yes, it was.
I saw your comments. I know you enjoyed. And we wanted to say a word of apologies for the mic going out.
Yeah.
Hopefully you could hear some of it if you turned it up. But man, it was good.
Yeah,
I mean, a really good conversation.
He touched on a lot of things, especially in the last part too.
Yeah.
I really love where he was talking about how, after you've been in business for a while, your skin gets a little thicker. Like, you know your stuff, and you're like, yo, you need to do so-and-so because so-and-so. Like, you know a lot more once you've been in business for a little bit.
I had a conversation with a young lady today. And I literally said to her, maybe she might even be watching, but I said to her, you probably need to come check out Incubators Couch because she was sharing with me some of the things that she was doing. And I was just like, you're young in business.
Yeah, young in business,
You're young in business. You're letting people trample all over you. You know what I'm saying? Just, no, you got to get, and as you grow, you start to look back at those days and be like, I remember. I used to do that too. I used to be real upset with folk.
No more.
You get to determine the rules of engagement. So you get to decide how people will engage with you. And when you do that, man, you will basically get the chance to take care of home first. But there's a lot. I was trying to think through, like, as I was listening to it again, because we've heard it a couple of times now, but as I was listening to it again, I was like, man, there's so many different facets of what he shared. Talking about serial entrepreneur. I mean, the definition of a serial entrepreneur here.
Yeah, from such a young age, I'm like, how do we instill that in our children?
Yo.
Like, I want my children to be like that at like 18, like so business minded.
They literally were going through college with a full daycare business. And then had the clarity and insight to be able to say, we just need this many kids and no more.
Yeah, and he's referring to when we had his wife Nicole on a previous episode.
I forgot that wasn't mentioned.
Yeah, on this one, he had his barbershop business throughout college, even throughout high school at Pine Forge. That's amazing.
He sold the business. I don't know if you guys caught that part. That's a whole other game.
That's on a different level, yeah.
There's a whole other level. There's a whole other stratosphere that he was playing in. Your boy sold that business and then began looking into real estate because, you know what I'm saying, real estate is where it's at.
Yeah, he was trying to expand. He was trying to buy that whole strip mall, I guess you could call it. Like, wow. That's amazing.
That's a lot. Talk to us in the chat, man. We're going to hang out here for a little bit. I mean, we're a little early, you know.
Yeah,
so talk to us in the chat. We're here. You guys are here. We want to hear from you guys. Let us know, you know, what you're thinking. Are you in business? If you are, put your name of your business and put what you do and where you're located. Whether or not it's online or is it in person. Let us know that in the chat.
Yeah, we would love to know.
But also let us know if you have any questions regarding what was shared
Yeah,
tonight.
true.
What else would you like to see from Incubators Couch? We got a little bit of time, and we want to make sure that we hear from you guys. This is the Q&A section. So even though I know, what I said is that we're a little early, but we're early to end because this is Q&A.
Yeah, we
So
can kind of
we
chat
can
up,
kind of
chat
chat
up a
it
little
up.
bit.
Yeah. So let us know in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I see you. Florence says there was so much in that. There was.
There was.
No doubt about it. Malcolm is a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, because he's been through multiple businesses. Like, he just needs to, like he was saying, his time is money, and he's mostly doing consultations slash,
Straight up.
therapy, or
Straight
I
up.
think that's what he said. But
Yeah,
he
he
can
does
just set up a
counseling
time
now.
and say, I've been in business for a couple of years. You want to ask me some questions?
Boom.
Book some time. Like, he could really do that.
He really could
Yeah,
and should
for real.
because so many people. I don't know what's going on with my throat, but so many people need that kind of insight and perspective. You know, that mirror to show them themselves so that they can be able to level up and get where they want to go.
True. And that just talking to him can like open your mind to so many possibilities, because he was talking about the barbershop
Straight up.
and how he was saying, it would have been better if he actually had owned the space, the actual space when he was selling it. It would have been a lot nicer. He would have been able to sell it for probably more.
Yeah. He, instead of just selling the business, he would have
yeah.
also sold the
The
real
actual
estate, the
space,
actual
yeah.
space itself.
And
So-
some people might not even be thinking about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I see. So Equip Institute and David are both saying essentially the same thing. Failure is not fatal. Oh, that's
True.
good.
True.
The takeaway is be willing to fail. Equip Institute says. David says, I love the conversation about failure. The tough skin piece was amazing. Florence says, listen, the tough skin piece as a whole masterclass.
Yeah. But yeah, the failure thing, that's good too, man, because a lot of people, like they say, a lot of businesses don't make it to like a year.
Yeah.
Because they may have failed in one thing and they're just like, you know what, let me just close up shop. This is not for me. Moving on to something else. But once you have gotten used to failing, it's just another thing. And you can just go through that and continue forward.
What did he say? He said Hershey, whatever Hershey filed for bankruptcy 11 times.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And we all know Hershey, so clearly he did something right.
Yeah, and he is used to failing and getting back up and going again.
Thomas Edison developed all kinds of stuff trying to figure out how to do the filament in the light bulb.
Yeah,
all kinds of stuff. Figured out hundreds of ways how it will not work.
Yeah.
And some of those turned into their own inventions.
Thing, yeah.
But failure, fail fast, fail often, fail and keep moving. In business, you've got to be able to do the review, take the notes, implement the changes, move on to the next. And you got to be able to get quicker at that.
Yes.
Get quicker at that. Like I had a client and I began before I even finished their project, I began implementing changes of how I was going to deal with new clients. Immediately. Because I was like, this is a hole. I need not ever have this happen again. So I began putting some different things in the questionnaire, different things in the discovery call, different things in onboarding to ensure that I had exactly what I needed. That was awesome. Okay, all right. We must all respect our time. It's the most expensive resource.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it is.
Expensive resource.
Yes, it is.
It can be tempting to give away the business when we don't respect our time in business. That was another learned moment. That's good.
That's good.
That is good. It can be tempting to give away the time. Darius O'Kane says, failure helps build your foundation.
Yes.
Oh, my God, Marie.
Hey.
Marie, what's good, sir? Thank you so much for coming through.
Yeah, man. Thanks for stopping through.
Yeah, bro. We got to get you back on. We had you on last season. We got to get you back on this season, man. We actually have a couch now, Doc.
Yeah, look, the couch.
The couch is here.
Space for you.
The couch is here, man. We got you. We got you covered. But yeah, no, there's so much that was shared. And as mentioned, for some of you, maybe not all of you, but for some of you may have been hearing this whole funding round and third seat second seat, all this other stuff. You may have been hearing some of that terminology for the first time.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is the world you're in if you have a business.
Yeah.
And there are so many different ways. What a lot of us do is traditionally called bootstrapping, right? We're essentially funding the business
itself
from our own pockets, and we build it from the ground up. Most people are. Lots of entrepreneurs who are, doing it on their own. That's where that's the number one way that it's done. But
there is another option, y'all.
Yeah, you come up with the concept, you come up with the idea, you come up with the prototype.
Yeah, and you go after that funding.
Yeah.
And you can go after it in multiple ways, either through signing up for grants or doing pitches, y'all.
The pitches, yep. Shark Tank.
Yeah.
We all watch Shark Tank. I hope you do.
Yeah, or you can just go to the bank and talk about getting that loan like he was talking about. Yeah.
There's many ways for it to be done. I mean, and so what you got a chance to see today is this is a completely different side of business, but it's business nonetheless.
It's still business.
Don't get it twisted. I mean, it's business to business, right? B2B as opposed to B2C, business to customer.
Yeah.
And for many entrepreneurs, a lot of our business is B2C, right? You're providing a service to a client. But for us, a lot of our clients are businesses, so it's B2B.
True.
And it still falls in the same realm. Even though his client was a bank, it's still a business to business. So there's a lot of different things that you can go along with there. So
cool.
So where we at?
It sounds like we're winding down, y'all.
We're winding down, man. We're winding down.
Is it?
We're winding down. No, we're right there.
We
got 4 minutes.
We got 4 minutes, y'all.
I mean, I'm willing to hang out, man. Talk to me in the chat. Let's talk about something funny. What's the don't name them, but what's your nightmare client right now? Like,
do you have a nightmare client right now?
Like, what are you dealing with in business? If you had a business school, if you could ask any question whatsoever in terms of starting a business, growing a business, marketing your business, getting your business out there, what would it be? Share with us, because we would love. I just want to see what types of questions are out there. And while you do that, last week we shared. I see you, David. I'm coming to you right now. Last week we shared about BNI. I think was the resource of the week.
That's the question.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, he's asking what was the name of the organization you talked about last week? BNI? Yes, David. BNI, Business Network International.
And BNI is actually the website, bni.com, just like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say more.
Oh, pretty much networking organization, referral networking, not just any type of networking. You probably have one in your area, David.
Oh, not even probably.
Yeah, so just check it out.
No,
you can visit and see what it's like. Just go prepped with lots of business cards and have a pitch ready.
Have a pitch ready.
Have a 15-second pitch ready.
Have a pitch ready. Gary Link says, can't make a decision. I'm assuming this is your nightmare client. Can't make a decision. I've had that client. I don't want that client again. You can keep that client, Gary Link. I don't want that client to come back to me. Can't make a decision. Very indecisive.
Yes. Nightmare.
Oof. Equip Institute says, one who makes excuses for not completing their work. I have had about one
more session
till I fire that client. I have one.
Yes. That's right. Fire them.
Oh my gosh.
Fire them. I tell you, my goodness.
Listen, and the excessive analysis, Gary, will cripple. Analysis paralysis. It will cripple. You can't get anything done because you keep on measuring and measuring and measuring.
Oh my goodness.
And you never cut. You never do.
Yeah. Do you have a nightmare client?
No, not right now.
I wouldn't say it's not a nightmare. It's just, promise one thing, I'm getting something different. Timeline is dragging. It's just frustrating is what I'm going through right now.
I don't have a nightmare client. I have a big fish. What I would call a whale that I've been trying to reel in. And
Okay, yeah.
they just don't want to come in.
Don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? You know, you've done all the things, you've done the presentations, you've knocked their socks off. Like I left from a discovery call with them where these guys were like, we don't want anyone else. We want to work with you. And I just can't seem to get them to,
Yeah, like what's going
on?
on?
Like real talk, when I'm not even gonna say if, when that client finally signs up, I'm going to have to close down my services because it's that big a whale.
Yeah.
That's going to change the game for us. That contract, that's going to be big. So definitely swinging for the fences on that one. And listen, sometimes you got to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. Now, we know we like small businesses. This one is still a small business. Well, it's a bigger business, but in terms of what they want to do, my customer is just the main guy, not the whole business. It's the main person. So it's still very much within our lane and helping them to create content. Oh, it's going to be,
Yeah.
But I just really want them to, let's get to the table. Let's sign on
go.
the dotted line. Let's get moving. So I've got, two whales. That one I'm trying to reel in. I've got another one that I've already done business with, already developed a relationship. They love what we've done. Just need to. They don't do any of that particular production. They don't do it in November, December, January. So they also decided to take off February, but I'm hoping that in March we can resume.
They'll start back up.
And
that'd be great.
Let me tell you.
That'd be great.
Hallelujah. Thank you so much, Florence. She says congrats. Yeah. Listen, this is the ebb and the flow. This is the long and the short of it. I'm always looking for a new client. Always looking for something new that I can do. Always trying to check in on previous clients to see if there's something else, especially if I did something for them around this time last year.
Yeah,
I try to drop them a message like, hey, are we doing so-and-so again? Just wanted to check. I've got those dates available on the calendar. Would you like to grab them now? Should I send you a quote?
Learn from
deposit.
These things, y'all.
If you drop a deposit, that date is yours, and then we can decide later.
Circle back around to those clients.
I circle back around. There's a graduation I've done for the last couple of years. I'm going to try and hit them up here pretty soon to make sure that those dates are solid. It's just, this is the ebb and flow of it. You just got to keep on, figuring out what that balance looks like, especially in the type of world that we're in. And it sounds like some of you guys are in that world as well. Listen, fam, we're not going to belabor the point. I think it's been a really good night for Incubators Couch tonight. I'm so excited to see, the whole crew coming through and hanging out.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Truly appreciate that.
What you know about Anthony Corns in the chat? Well, not in the chat. He's just watching. But hey, Anthony.
Corns, what's good, sir? Come on, talk to us.
Yeah, he's lurking right now.
Yeah, stay in touch. Keep the relationship. Yeah, these are the these are the things that I like to do with coaching clients. I always keep notes so that every time I make that touch, I have those references, so I can reference these different things that that we talked about the last time. But I started quite literally treating each client like a coaching client, and just kind of putting together that profile, having those notes, so that every time I make that touch, I have these relevant points that I'm reaching out for. So. These are things that you learn along the way. It's people dynamics. It's relationship building. It's a networking at its best. Just ways that you can be, that you're not a robot. You're not AI. You're an actual real human being. It's like, hey, didn't you say you do golf? I heard so and so's doing golfing. It allows for that conversation to be, to be fresh. And I think those are some of the things we absolutely have to incorporate.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, indeed. Yes, David says you're welcome. Thank you, and thank you yet again for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Family, Incubators Couch is unscripted, vulnerable. Oh, it's my turn?
Yes.
Vulnerable conversations with entrepreneurs and business owners just like you. And it is a production of Composition LLC, which is a web design and video production firm. We can set you up. If you want to be able to get your message out there, you want people to see that your business is real. There's no greater way for people to know that than by having a website. It's like a stamp Oh, there's a website. It's real.
Legit.
Boom. And then on the flip side of that, you want people to see your genius on display. Well, I think live video is the best way to do that. So we have those strategies, and we have that done for you service, along with some training and consulting for the DIYers out there as well. So we'd love for you to kind of connect with us in whatever shape, form, or fashion that you would like. I will say this, the ticker has been sliding along on the bottom the whole show, and one of the things that it says is, if you'd like to watch previous episodes, go to iCouch.show.
Yep.
But if you also would like to be a guest, and just email us at contact us at yourcomposition.com.
Where is the link? It's right here, y'all.
There we go.
Right here.
Right here, right here. So we just wanted to drop those bugs in your ear. Thank you yet again for coming and hanging out. Your time is your most precious commodity, and you've given us an hour of it. We don't take that for granted.
True.
Be blessed. Have a great week. Go and make some money. Go ahead and knock some clients' socks off, and we will see you around these internet streets or in the next video. Later, fam.
See you next Monday.
No.
You can